Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. All right, let's go ahead and get this started. So, to those who are watching afterwards, welcome to the video slash stream, whatever. Sorry about the little waiting bit there, but hey, not much I can do about it. Anywho, yeah. So the title of this stream is uh, we we've been saying that the people who've been going ahead and starting all these issues were going to start ripping each other apart. Well, it's actually started. Now they're at the point of demanding certain people inside of their groups to go ahead and basically make the ultimate sacrifice. Saying, oh, well, you're the ones who need to go ahead and do it because you're going to go ahead and get less punishment, whatever, whatnot. That is absolute bullshit, and they know it, but they just don't want to be the ones to go ahead and get into trouble for doing what they want to have done, which is typically violence. But yeah, so let's be completely honest here. When we decide to say that, these people are going to start eating themselves alive, the reason why we say that they're going to start eating each other alive is because of the pure and simple fact that when you have a mentality of the weakest get the greatest say. Hey, Gorilla, how's it going? But when you have that mentality, then people are going to be vying to be the weakest, and they're going to naturally start trying to destroy the strongest. But they can't destroy the strongest directly. They have to have the strongest destroy themselves, because the strongest are stronger than them. Makes sense, right? So that's what they're having happen now. There was a video on Wild Smiles' channel where it actually showed a Asian woman telling a white man, which not a particularly strong looking white man, kind of a string beanie, all of that sort of shit. But she was telling him that he needs to go out and just start punching people that they disagree with ideologically. And then when he sits there and he's all like, look, I've been putting in the fucking work. I don't know why you're saying this to me. I've been going out there. I've been doing everything that you fucking want. He even basically told her to piss off. And it was fucking amazing. Because the thing is afterwards, she starts yelling at him for being white, starts shaming him, so on, so forth, all that shit. It's all like, honestly, at this point, when I sit there and I look at the left, they are proof positive that that so-called white privilege doesn't exist. Because if there was such a thing as white privilege, would it be okay for them to act the way that they are acting? No. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be okay to sit there and say, oh, you're white, therefore you are less important. Your life and freedom matters less. You should have to sacrifice yourself for what we want. That is absolute proof right there that the whole so-called white privilege thing doesn't exist in and of itself. But then it even goes farther. They sit there and say that males are privileged. Well, they're not asking women to go out there and start punching people. When in all honesty, that would probably be the smartest thing for them to do. Because the thing is, if a woman goes out and gets physically violent, just go ahead and take a look at little Miss Moldylocks. She was sitting there throwing weaponry at people. She was throwing explosives and glass bottles into groups of people. What happened to her? Nothing. Well, nothing negative. She got a bunch of positive press, a bunch of positive PR, a bunch of people saying, you know, oh, she didn't do anything wrong. Go ahead and have it if a man was to start throwing shit like that into a crowd. Then we'd be having a discussion about male violence and how males are quick to go to deadly force and all this bullshit. The thing is whenever you see people being arrested, like with the latest arrest in Berkeley, the vast majority of the people that were arrested, other than high-profile targets, were white. The vast majority. Hey, Malcolm, how's it going? But the fact of the matter is why was it the white people that got arrested? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that a lot of Antifa is white. I know that there are a lot of white people in Antifa. But the fact of the matter is it was almost no one, no quote-unquote people of color. Almost none. Interesting, isn't it? And they look like the typical people that the police would arrest anyway. I mean, if you're judging based off of looks, which the left likes to do. So, I want to ask this question. Hey, how's it going, Warrior? But I want to ask this question right here, right now. Who's the privileged class? Because I really don't think that it's white males. Hey, love, how's it going? Yeah, no, I need to trim it up a little bit because it's starting to get a little bit scraggly on the outside. But yeah. But the thing is when I sit here and I look at this situation, I see white people getting arrested, and I see the people of color that are involved in this violence and all that getting a free pass, getting to walk away. And yet they're still sitting there and saying that whites are privileged when whites are the ones being arrested at this point. And Malcolm, I don't disagree with you. I do believe that women are the most privileged class. They're the only class that can sit there, go out, commit violence, and then have people defending it on all sides of the conversation. Man goes out and commits violence. Oh my God, he's the worst motherfucker out there. He is literally Hitler. You know? Pretty much doesn't matter the reason for violence unless he was defending a woman. At which point, then excuses will be made. But even then, it's all like, well, he was doing it for the right reasons, but he still shouldn't have done it. He still shouldn't have been violent. He should have fought his nature. So even if a guy is sitting there and defending one of their most protected, most valued classes, he's still shamed. He's still told that he has a naturally violent nature and that there's no way of getting around it. Gorilla said, "It's sad. I say this all the time, man. It's messed up. My own mom will use this stuff against me. Then she threatens if I act up, she will call the cops." Yeah, no, that's very, very, Oh, and when she's provoking you. Ah, yeah, no, that's actually not uncommon, man. The thing is we're seeing this over and over and over again in society. That's the reason why I love those videos of guys just finally having enough and just knocking a woman to the ground, actually defending themselves. The woman's being getting up in the guy's face, is sitting there and thinking that guys still have that chivalry bullshit that actually pertains to women. No, women have killed that. Honestly, I think Whoopi put it the best. You know, don't think that men still have that chivalry thing about them, because we don't. Feminism has caused so much damage to women that women are starting to quickly be viewed as equal to men, even though when you're talking about like fighting ability and so on and so forth, typically not so much. Typically a smaller male can defeat a larger female. It comes down to experience, yes. Just like you can sit there, you can have, you know, a David and Goliath situation. You know, it all comes down to intelligence and a little bit of luck. Anyone who says that fighting doesn't involve luck has never actually been in a really big fight. Like, let's just be completely honest. Because if you sit there and you take a step, and that step is absolutely perfect, textbook step, then guess what? There's always a chance that there's going to be a small pebble there that's going to roll your foot a little to the side or cause your ankle to rotate and you go down to the ground. That's called bad luck. And it could have been a pebble that, in the grand scheme of things, you're not going to fucking see. Especially if it's directly behind you. I mean, yeah, situational awareness is important, but Jesus Christ. You're not going to sit there and keep track of every grain of sand that's around you. It's not going to happen. Gorilla, YouTube can view all the comments, but they won't. Like, let's be completely honest. Gorilla says, as you guys can see on here, sorry, I forgot I'm streaming with OBS, so I'm back into the old school way of doing things. But he says, got a question for you guys. I'm an unboxing review product channel. I wanted to know if the people in charge of YouTube can read all my comments here with you guys. Yes, they can, but typically they won't. Like, the stuff that you put into the live chat doesn't really stay in their files too much, and they don't pay too much attention to it. Not unless a stream gets a lot of negative attention. So I don't think you got too much to worry about. Oh, fair enough, Gorilla. And I can't blame some people for staying for staying quiet on it, you know. And why in the hell is my network going buggy on me? What the actual fuck? 1 second. Alright, it's probably because I got this up and running, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Maybe that'll go ahead and give me a little bit more stream health. Alright, hey, Love, go ahead and DM the link to that video to me, and I'll probably go ahead and put it into the descriptor after I'm done with this. So, yeah. But anywho, and I'm sorry for the low streaming quality. I have no idea what's going on with this, guys. I've done everything in my power to fix it, and for some odd reason, it's just constantly fluctuating. So I'm sorry about that, but it's every time I do it with OBS, so I might just have to go back to just doing the old school way until I can maybe upgrade my computer. I think that might help out a little bit. But anywho, um, yeah, so I do apologize to everyone in advance for that. I might have to go ahead and just go back to the old school way of streaming. Kind of sucks. Either that or I'm going to have to lower the resolution. So I'm still trying to get this stuff worked out, guys. So I do apologize. But yeah. Also, one thing that did happen a little bit ago, and I think it was Big Brother that brought it to my attention. For a little while there, I was actually on the front page for BitChute. But yeah, so that was a thing. Because I actually went ahead and got a hold of BitChute. Apparently, you have to get a hold of them to have them start automatically ripping your uploads from YouTube and putting it onto BitChute. But I got a hold of them, and they got back to me within a day, and they said, yeah, we're perfectly fine with that, and so they put me in that automatic upload state. So now, if anything does happen to my channel, you can actually go ahead, go to BitChute, and there's all my shit right there. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting the link to my BitChute in there. And to those who have been asking, yes, I am still planning on starting up the Patreon, but I just want to get stuff done being lined up. So, yeah. So, like I said, it's going to be happening pretty soon here, but chill. It's going to happen. We're good. We're cool. Yeah, so but as far as the whole it's happening thing, the reason why I titled this stream the way that I did was I ended up actually going ahead and in the past I said that these people were going to start eating each other apart, once they felt like they were winning and that sort of thing. They were going to start breaking it down into even smaller and smaller groups and basically dividing it to where it's okay to pick on one individual until they die and then move on to the next. Well, they're starting into that. I mean, hell, Black Lives Matter and all that is starting to rip into black people trying to say that straight black guys are somehow the enemy. Then you've also got, people sitting there and telling white people that they need to sacrifice themselves for the quote-unquote greater good. You've got people saying, oh, well, you're not really this, you're not really that, so on and so forth. And you see some of that in the right. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be completely honest. The right has its own flavor of that. But I'm just noticing it a lot on the left because people are pointing it out. Because people have learned that the thing that the left hates the most is the free market of ideas. So that's interesting in and of itself. And I've always said, if an ideology cannot survive in the free market of ideas, then maybe it doesn't deserve to survive. And a lot of people are trying to sit there and say, oh, well, MGTOW isn't flourishing in the free market of ideas. Well, right now it's just really starting out. I mean, it's just really started taking off. But the fact is MGTOW growth is on the upswing. And it's starting to really go. And the thing is something like MGTOW is going to be a generational thing. Just like with feminism, it was a generational thing. It didn't just happen all at once. It didn't just pop out of nowhere. It's been something that's been slowly growing. My fear, as far as MGTOW is concerned, is that at some point we're going to get right back to it. And I mean, we're already seeing some purity tests going on with some of the channels here on YouTube and elsewhere online. You're starting to see that, and and that really does have me concerned, and we got to keep that in check. But as far as the left ripping its own apart, you're starting to see this more and more and more. When it comes to people deciding that they're going to join these movements or whatever. Like I said, people need to do their research and they need to join whatever movement they're going to join for the right reasons, not just to try to be popular. And my reason for that is actually very simple. Because the thing is if you join a movement and you don't have any idea of what it's actually about, you're going to get a really nasty surprise. And when I say a nasty surprise, I mean a nasty surprise. My reason for this is very simple. If you don't understand it, then you're not going to understand the ugliness that comes along with it. Because anytime you get a group of people gathered together, you're going to have some nasty surprises that are going to happen. You're going to have some internal ideas that are going to start up that you need to be able to squash quickly. And the larger the group, the harder it is, because that shit tends to spread. Like with MGTOW, perfect example. When MGTOW was small, a lot of people, looked at MGTOW as kind of just a niche group of guys that had had a few bad experiences and that did not really understand how the world worked. But now, as time's gone on, more and more MGTOWs have come out being a little bit more fluent as the arguments have been completely, let's say, tempered by scrutiny. And that's actually how MGTOW actually grows strong, is actually by having that scrutiny thrown at us constantly. People constantly questioning us on what we're saying, constantly questioning our ideas, our beliefs, just whatever, And it's not just MGTOW as a movement, but MGTOWs as individual people. Because the thing is a lot of MGTOWs tend to be very open about it now. Because it's no longer such a dirty thing. Kind of like how a lot of people are coming out as conservative now that it's not considered to be exactly dirty except by mainstream media and such, which people have stopped really trusting other than Democrats. Apparently, over 70% of Democrats actually trust the news. And that right there should say everything that you need to have said. Let's see, what's Gorilla saying here? YouTube should allow all people to get monetized regardless, including prank channels, RC car channels, etc. I don't see a lot of fairness in it. I'm not MGTOW, but I get your message, and it's all interesting stuff. Well, thank you, man. I definitely appreciate it. And the thing is with my channel, yeah, it's a MGTOW channel, but it's also, I guess, some people have been trying to describe it as a philosophy channel. Because the thing is I don't sit there and say, oh, this one view is right, or this one view is absolutely wrong. Like, even when I sit there and I talk about the left, and I rag on the left, there are some things that they say that actually make sense. Few and far in between, but they're there, and I have to acknowledge them. But with me, I just say, look at the world. Yes, you have your experiences, but other people are having their own experiences. So don't sit there and say that your experience is the end-all be-all. Because in the grand scheme of things, your experiences are minute and relatively insignificant. And Gorilla, every once in a while, a red pill will sit there and go purple. I mean, because let's just be honest, especially guys. Because the thing is with guys, we do have that natural tendency. Oh, thanks, love. Yeah, I'm actually going to be getting back onto Discord, and as you guys have seen, I actually have my headset up and running. So once I start getting people back into my streams and all that, I'll be able to go ahead and have it where people can go ahead and join in with OBS. So that'll be kind of nice. But I just have to get OBS tweaked to where it can handle all the shit that's going to be going on. Um, and the thing is, Malcolm, to a degree, I do agree with you that MGTOW helps you build yourself up. But also at the same time, uh, the way that it helps you build yourself up is it gives you the tools to build yourself up. It doesn't actually do it for you. And I think that's where a lot of people come into MGTOW thinking something that isn't exactly true. People think that MGTOW is going to be like feminism, where MGTOW are sitting there and saying, "Oh, men should, have all these extra rights." No, that's not it. MGTOW is about viewing the world as it is, sitting there and saying, if you can change it, go ahead. It's going to take effort, and so on and so forth. We tend to be very honest about the situation, which makes us very unpopular with certain groups. Oh, and Gorilla here, you don't have to be a MGTOW to add to the conversation here, and a lot of people here don't have that issue. Um, we tend to not we tend to not hold it against people when they're not MGTOW. I mean, yeah, you'll get the typical razzing and that sort of thing, but I mean, you're in a place with a lot of guys, so of course some friendly razzing is going to happen. But like I have several people that I have constantly in here that aren't exactly MGTOW, but they understand where MGTOW comes from. Basically, what it is, as long as you're being honest with the discussion, we got no issues with you, man. But the reason why I think YouTube is trying so desperately to get rid of MGTOW is because it goes against the narrative that they themselves are trying to spread, which is men are evil, especially white straight men. Women are this somehow oppressed class that's fighting against some level of oppression. That isn't how this works. So, yeah, Gorilla, welcome to the channel. And if you go ahead and you take a look at my previous videos, I have some videos where I'm just kind of tooling around in my front yard on foot. If you go ahead and do that, you'll get an idea of who I am and what my personal beliefs are. And the thing is with this channel, a lot of people come from very different places. Oh crap! And my network is going down again. That is freaking awesome! Yay! Not much that I can really do there. One sec. Stream. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and tweak around with the settings, see what I can do. You know what? I'm actually gonna go ahead. I'm gonna end this stream, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start up the second part, just with Google Hangouts, because I tend to get a better situation going on with that. Uh, it seems like YouTube is really not liking OBS right now on my computer, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna end the stream here, and I'll start up the other stream and continue on from there. I'll be right back, guys. So keep an eye out for it. I'll be right back.